Hey everybody, Derek here. I'm here to bring you another video for Z Nation. And this video is going to be reviewing Zombie Baby Daddy, which I must say was a very shocking episode. And once again, Z Nation shows they are not pulling punches. They are writing a story that they want to, and it is shocking and exciting to watch at the same time. And this was another one of those episodes that really, if you do not want to know what happened, do not watch this video because otherwise you are going to be spoiled. Okay. Ironically, episode 6 of last season of Z Nation was very shocking as well because we had the death of Garnett right at the end, which was something that perhaps a lot of us did not expect or did not see coming. While we did hear about that there would be a death, maybe people didn't think it was going to be Garnett. I highly doubt it. I didn't. And now episode 6 has claimed another member of the Z Nation cast for season 2. Cassandra met her end tonight in this episode. And I'm going to explain the events and talk about what led up to it. So the episode begins with a lot of action going on. The group is actually surrounded by zombies. It's just a big zombie fight right at the beginning of the episode, and we see just how much Lucy is potentially affecting the group because the zombies are attracted to her. They're attracted to her cries, potentially, the noise that she makes. In Walking Dead, you hear about that concern as well, about having a baby in the zombie apocalypse and how much of a threat it would be. If it does cry and walkers hear, it's going to come to where the cries are. And I think that there's a similar thing going on here, with baby Lucy. And, the group definitely has to fight hard in order to get out of that situation. They fight those Abraham Lincoln zombies. Doc thought that he was just seeing things and was a little concerned there, but no, he was actually seeing Abraham Lincoln zombies, so that was entertaining. And, again, just this idea of baby Lucy being dangerous. And the group definitely has that concern going into the episode. Murphy knows it, and the group knows it as well. Not only is baby Lucy a threat in regards to the sounds that she can potentially make, like crying, screaming, laughing, maybe. I mean, who knows? And we also don't really know necessarily whether zombies are just attracted to her in general. But, not only is she a threat in that respect, but just also, is she the savior of the human race, or is she, the creation of something very terrible? And that's something that the group was debating, throughout the episode. Now, nobody was really at this point, thinking about harming Lucy. It wasn't like they were thinking about putting her down or anything, but they wanted to see exactly, what baby Lucy was. They wanted to inspect her a little bit because, you saw Murphy at one point, the group goes into the woods and camps out in the woods, and Murphy actually gives baby Lucy like a human finger to chew on, kind of like a pacifier. And, just the reactions that baby Lucy has, her teeth coming out, things like that, would make you a little concerned, because you have Murphy who, even though he, is a lot like a zombie, he still retains his human qualities and his human abilities to be able to speak, think intelligently, things like that. So you have to wonder, would those abilities be transferred to a baby, or does baby Lucy have more of a zombie gene within her? And then, of course, you also lead to that other question, does it just depend on the circumstances? Different people breeding, can cause various different things, your hair color, your eye color, other things like that, can be affected by your parents' genes. And you really do have to wonder, is there more of a zombie gene, or is there more of a human gene, getting affected in that, gene pool? So a lot of questions that you're really wondering about. and the group wants to take a look at her. Well, Murphy doesn't want them to, interfere, and the group does wonder, again, what should we do if we find out? But it was more that they wanted to find out and then make the decision rather than just, put the baby down or, leave her and abandon her. I don't think they wanted to do that. But, Murphy was very concerned about having Doc or anybody, look her over and inspect her. And what he ends up doing is he leaves the group. He walks away into the woods, to keep people away from the baby. And he has Cassandra guard Doc, Addie, and 10,000, basically with the orders of don't let anybody leave. Now, he goes off on his own. At this point as well, it's important to mention that Vasquez actually left the group first. We noticed that he had been going out, that he had been, talking on a walkie-talkie in the last episode, which makes you wonder, what's going on? Who is he talking to and what's going on? And 10,000 sees what he's doing, tells Warren, and Warren goes after Vasquez to see exactly what he's doing. So they left the group before Murphy did. And what ends up happening is Warren sees Vasquez, and Vasquez is talking to some Zeros. He's talking to people that are a part of that Zeros organization that Scorpion is a higher figure in. But he wasn't in the episode. It was just like, the henchman, maybe, whatever you would call that. And we see Vasquez talking to them, and then all of a sudden, he starts to shoot, a couple of them. And they end up overpowering him, and they're starting to beat him. Warren saves him, but in the process, the two of them are shot and wounded pretty severely. I think Warren got a bullet in the shoulder, and Vasquez got one in, like, the stomach area. I mean, it miraculously must have missed his major organs, but both of them were pretty severely wounded and bleeding. So they end up getting away. They go to a hospital that they see nearby, and they pretty much spend the episode fighting zombies, running very low on bullets, getting in there. And then, of course, what was very interesting was to see they encountered a blind zombie, one that did not have eyes. And it's very interesting to note that if the zombies don't have their eyes, they can still smell you and they can still hear you, but they can't see you, which is something that, you wonder about, because other zombie media has that different, I think. I think that the Walking Dead, I can't remember, I'd have to look, but you remember the walker that bit Bob? I have to wonder if that one had eyes or not, because I don't think it did, but I'd have to double check. But I even think that some of George A. Romero's zombies don't have eyes either, so that's definitely very interesting to see. And the two of them end up, stitching each other up. And of course, Warren wants to know, what were you doing out there? And Vasquez tells her a story, which we don't know if it's true or not, but this is what he says. He says that he used to be a DEA agent. That's what he did before the zombie apocalypse happened. And that the Salas cartel, the one that's run by the Zeros, that they tried to bribe him to, take out the competition and work for them. And Vasquez turned them down. Well, when he turned them down, they basically kidnapped his wife and daughter, and basically gave him the proposition of, you're either going to work with us and we'll kill your family quickly, or you can oppose us and we'll kill them slowly. And somebody, according to him, comes into the room, and, Vasquez asks for his help, and the man shoots and kills his wife and daughter. And that was on the first day of the apocalypse, because he says that his wife got back up as a zombie. So he is looking for the man that killed his wife and daughter. And he says he knows it because the guy has a tattoo on his arm. And he thinks the guy's still out there. He doesn't think that he's dead. And that's what he's doing, and that's what he's looking for. And it was a very interesting moment for the two of them. You saw them bonding. You saw just how, hardcore the two of them really are, And, I think there's a little bit of a future with them. I think there's more that they're going to explore with their characters. And I'm very interested to see where they will go with that. Now, of course, the other things that are going on is that, Murphy is walking through the woods with baby Lucy, changes her diaper at one point, and notices that there are zombie animals basically around in the area that are attracted to her, because she's crying, things like that. And Murphy's just worried in general. Murphy is very afraid of what people are going to do to her. Which shows just how much he's changed, a little bit as a character. That, he can actually form this connection and feeling to somebody, which we didn't really see before. And it's very amazing. It's very nice to see a different side of Murphy. And he does have genuine concern because he doesn't want, to potentially get the group killed, because if baby Lucy cries, the zombies are going to come around, and we've seen that happen twice now. But he also doesn't, want them to hurt her either. So he's caught in the middle of a situation, and it's very tough. Well, Murphy ends up finding this cabin that is a husband and wife live in and survive in. It's really out there in the woods, so not a lot of people visit it. And Murphy goes in, talks with them, and the husband's a little aggressive, holds the gun on him, which I can't blame because you have to be careful in this world, who you're dealing with. And what ends up happening is Murphy, after talking with the couple, realizing that they're actually pretty decent people. They really are just protecting themselves. You can't really blame them for, holding a gun on Murphy and, questioning him and who he is. And they, of course, provided baby Lucy with some rabbit's milk. So, they are very caring people. They're not, terrible people. Murphy asks if they will take care of baby Lucy. And at first, they're like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, absolutely. Because they realize that they're in a better position to do that than Murphy and the group, because Murphy tells them about, how the zombies, are attracted to her when she cries, and of course that the group might want to hurt her. But of course, when they take one look at baby Lucy, they pull the blanket back and see the face. They're like, what? Like, you want to explain this? Like, of course it's going to be a little, scary. I mean, because baby Lucy really does look a lot like a zombie. And, they're ready to kick him out. They're ready to just go, bye, get out, take your baby, go. We don't want anything to do with this. And Murphy, says, okay, they'll go, but asks them for one favor, which, I will reveal at the end of this video about what happened to them. But to get to what happened to Cassandra. Well, again, that Murphy ordered Cassandra to stay behind and watch them. And, Addie, Doc, and 10,000 at one point, they end up going out and trying to find Murphy. And Cassandra, of course, she's very agile, very physical. She's able to stop people now because of the strength that she has. And, they try to run in different directions, and she ends up jumping on top of Addie and really hurting her. She actually bends her arm backwards. Didn't break it, but, did strain it a little bit. And, she screams, and Doc and 10,000 go back and realize that, there's a very, there's a very good chance that, maybe Cassandra would have hurt Addie further if they hadn't. And this is something that's very concerning to the group, and especially 10,000 in this episode. Over the past couple episodes, since the season started, we've really wondered, is Cassandra human? Is she zombie? What is she exactly? And, we've seen times when 10,000 would ask people, do you think Cassandra's in there? Do you think that she's alive? And people saying, well, we don't know. Because, when she would take Z-weed, it seemed like she, was a little bit more medicated, a little bit more, human-like. But with Murphy's influence over her, she really was, in a sense, like a zombie. And when she spoke in this episode, she spoke, like a demon would. She was like, nobody leaves. That's how she talked. And, that had been an issue for the last couple episodes with the group, was what exactly is Cassandra? And unfortunately, whenever the group saw just how far she was willing to go to get somebody to do what she wanted, at that point, I think that 10,000 had finally lost hope in her, becoming better, becoming something more human-like, wondering if she was going to get better, which at this point he started not to believe that. And the group takes off for a second time, and 10,000 stays behind and says, hey, I will take care of this, you guys go. And the two of them end up fighting, you know, physically just, going at it, 10,000 keeping Cassandra at bay while the group goes and tries to find Murphy. And, as the fight goes on near the end, Cassandra is able to get the upper hand, and she literally has 10,000's face turned like this, and is literally putting like the pressure point on to potentially snap his neck. And 10,000 is doing everything that he possibly can to try to see if Cassandra, the person, is still in there. And right before she can snap his neck, he at this point makes the decision, no, Cassandra's not in there, and stabs her in the neck with his knife. He's able to reach down and grab the knife. So he had to put Cassandra down. And he buries Cassandra in a shallow grave. He puts dirt over her. And the group, everybody comes back and sees what happens. And Murphy comes back as well and is like, what happened here? And 10,000 has to tell him, well, Cassandra tried to kill us and I had to put her down. Not so nice. I mean, he's very, hostile. And, Murphy's like, why'd you do that? Like, that's terrible. Why would you do that? And 10,000 just says, that wasn't Cassandra. That was not who she was anymore. He, at that point, after everything and after seeing exactly what Cassandra was doing and how she was behaving, he finally, made that conclusion that, that she was not human. She wasn't there anymore, that what was left was not Cassandra. And, he had to do what he had to do. And, of course, Murphy's very upset about what he's done and does try to attack him, and even sarcastically goes, well, 2,000 or 3,255. I guess that was the kill. And Warren's basically able to, get between them and say, hey, enough. You can't be doing this. Not here, not now. And, at that point, the situation is diffused for now, but we'll see what happens next week. And to find out, what happened to baby Lucy, well, that's interesting. Because the couple does take care of the baby. And they put her in a crib and, are, giving her toys to play with and admiring how beautiful she is. When we see the bite marks on their face, what Murphy probably did, well, he had to have done, was he bit the man and the woman. And, of course, we know that when he does that, he is able to exercise influence over them. And I think that at this point, he put his influence in them, that they are to take care of baby Lucy like their own. And what was ironic was they really were acting very human-like. So, definitely makes you wonder if different people are affected in different ways. I'm going to discuss that in another video. But, at this point, baby Lucy does have a home, somebody to take care of her. And, unfortunately, we lost Cassandra in this episode. So that's all that happened. I will make a video later on Cassandra, giving my thoughts overall on her. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching. If you have any suggestions, don't be afraid to leave them. Feel free to subscribe. I do have more videos coming. And I want to thank all of you guys for your support so far for this channel. I just saw that I made it to over 270 subscribers, and I really do appreciate that, and I want to thank each and every one of you. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and thank you very much for watching.